Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mr. Pratt here, and this is Jackpot. So as you know, I'm always bringing you accessible, modifiable, and engaging content for in the gym, at home, and in the classroom. Today I'm featuring another game in my Recess Game series. It's a classic game from my childhood, and it's called Jackpot. Jackpot's one of the simplest games around, and all you need is a single ball to play the game. One of the reasons I love Jackpot is it's great for throwing and catching skills, but also those fielding and potentially striking skills if you're using something like a bat instead of your hands to throw as the jacker. Just like my other classic recess games, this is one that's great to teach to students because they're going to be able to play this when they're unsupervised, at home, in class, in the gym, at recess time, wherever they might happen to be. Once you establish a clear set of rules and point totals, this is a great game that kids are able to manage and organize themselves. The premise of the game is simple. There's a group of catchers and one thrower, often called a jacker, who's going to throw the ball to the group of catchers. Each ball thrown is worth a certain value of points, and the person who collects the most points to a set target or catches a jackpot will become the new thrower or jacker. Now, to keep things engaging, Jackpot typically works best in smaller groups of say 4, 5, or 6 people. It can be played with much bigger numbers, but it's going to be much less engaging and you're going to have a lot more risk of collisions between your catchers. Jackpot's often played with a football, but can be played with a ball of any type. You could play it with a tennis ball and still use your hands. You could play this with lacrosse sticks and lacrosse balls. You could even play it with your feet, doing drop kicks, working on soccer or Aussie rules football, and having the catchers still using their hands. Another common way Jackpot is played is with baseball and baseball gloves. So once you've figured out what kind of ball you're going to use, here's the finer details of the game. As the thrower or jacker, I'm going to call out a number of points, and I am going to say that the ball is either dead or alive. If I say that the ball is alive, it means it needs to be caught in the air to earn the points. If it's dead, that means the ball must contact the ground before one of the catchers can grab it to earn the points. If they catch it in air, the points don't count. There's a lot of variations in Jackpot, but typically for points, I keep it quite simple and use numbers that are appropriate to the student's grade relative to their math skills. If I'm playing the game with grade 1s and 2s, I'm going to use small numbers and small addition. If you're playing with older students, you can get into hundreds, thousands, and have a set target prior to playing the game. For the purposes of this video, let's keep it simple and say 10 points is the goal. Every time the jacker or thrower makes a throw, they're going to call out a number, 7, alive, and throw the ball. That would mean 7 points if the ball is caught in the air. If they say 7 dead, the ball must be caught after touching the ground. As the game progresses, players are going to slowly add to their totals. So if somebody catches that 7-point alive ball or that 7-point dead ball, their total's at 7, other players would still be at 0. As the game goes on, you're going to collect more and more points, and once somebody gets to 10 or higher, in this case, they would become the new jacker or thrower. Now, a few variations of Jackpot. In addition to your points adding up, the jacker can also call jackpot, dead or alive. In that case, if a catcher is able to catch a jackpot, they automatically become the new jacker or thrower. So if the jacker or thrower is getting tired and they want to switch, or if they just want to keep the game fresh and exciting, they can call a jackpot every once in a while to keep people guessing. Another variation that jackers sometimes throw in is called a mystery box. In this case, the catcher doesn't know how many points the ball is going to be worth until it is actually caught, and then the jacker reveals how many points the mystery ball was worth. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the mystery box because when you're playing with students, they're just going to change the point value depending on who catches it, whether it's their friend or not. So I'm not a big fan of that, but that's going to be up to you to decide whether you want that variation added in. A few safety things to keep in mind when playing Jackpot. Just make sure your catchers are nice and spread out to avoid collisions, making sure they're keeping an eye on each other and working on that spatial awareness. And I also recommend that players stay on their feet. So even if a ball is dead, they have to bend their knees and bend down to pick up the ball as opposed to sliding and diving, because that can quickly get out of control. It's also an important rule to remind your jacker to be realistic with their throws and reasonable with their throws. If they're throwing it straight into the ground on a live balls, or they're throwing it way too high, way too hard, or your catchers are standing way too far away, this is going to be a problem and the game's not going to be fun or engaging for anyone. Setting up your point system to work on things that students are learning in math is also a great idea. So if they're learning multiples of 2, multiples of 5, multiples of 10, it's a great way to use your point system in that way so they can work on some math skills while they're also being active and having fun. All right, everyone, so that about does it for Jackpot. As I said, classic game, simple game, minimal equipment required. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that subscribe button down there, sign up for notifications to be the first to see my weekly content, like and share away. But for now, this is Mr. Pratt signing off from Jackpot.